So now we move on to our candidates for the town clerk. We have Dave Bedurtha, John Canny, and James Gibbons. So again, we're going to start with the opening statements, and Dave, we'll start with you, continuing alphabetical order.
My name is Dave Bedurtha. I've been in town about 18 years. There's been a little gap in the middle of that, but I was happy to come back to Ayer. My background is I work for digital equipment. I took 3 startup companies from creation through purchase, all 3 companies over a course of 8 years. At that point, I retired more back into private business. I've been working for a small company in Chelmsford, helping that grow. But really my background for that 25 years that I've been working is really based in documentation control, records controls and things like that, through creating bills of materials, through documenting procedures and processes so that the 3 startup companies that I worked for could actually make advancement, make products, and produce prior to them being purchased. Really, the way I see the office is very much a documentation, a storage type of position, and I'm very good at that. It's not just storing papers in file cabinets, which will always be needed. You'll always need to actually see a piece of paper, but it's also how to retrieve that documentation back. And the town has invested a serious amount of money in a program called Laserfiche and in a mass document scanner that allows all of the town to be using more electronic digital type of storage. All those tools have never been used, and it's my thought that through using those tools I can better advance the town and how you get the information that you need from the clerk's office, either through the office directly or on the town's website. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we'll move on to John then.
Good evening. I want to thank the Ayer Communications Committee, all of you in the audience, and everyone at home who's watching this debate. The position that I'm running for, of course, is town clerk, which we just mentioned. It's a very important position in the town because it's the main record-keeping and administrative function arm of the town community. It runs the census, it runs the voting, it runs the registration of the voters for the meeting, town meeting. It makes sure that the bylaws are sent to the Attorney General for approval. It keeps the bylaws properly categorized in the town so that if anybody wants to come and look at them, they can. Another very significant position within the town clerk's office is to also make sure that the open meeting laws and the record keeping are kept in compliance, because they put together the warrant for the town meeting and they put together the documentation for the town meeting as well. The job that Ann Callahan has done over the many decades that she's worked here has been a stupendous job done on behalf of the town. And regardless of which of the 3 of us wins this job, whatever she's done has helped us make a better tomorrow in the town of Ayer. So I want to say thank you to her, and thank you for all the work that she's done, because we will have a better tomorrow because of that. There's a lot of change that's going on in Ayer right now. We have a chairman of the Board of the Selectmen who's leaving. Ann Callahan, of course, is retiring from the town clerk and the tax collector. We have the town treasurer retiring, and we have the town administrative leader leaving as well. So we're going to have a lot of open positions, and one of the questions that's before this group is whether or not there should be the dissolution, you will, of the town clerk and tax collector's position. I believe that it should not be. I believe it should be held close together, because we cannot afford to have any more fracturing of the jobs or the responsibilities within the town at this point, because we need to keep the effort and the knowledge and the strength of the offices together. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And James?
Good evening. My name is James Gibbons. Most of you may know me by Jamie. I have been involved in community recreation for many years. I'm a lifelong resident of Ayer. I went to school with Ann Callahan's youngest kids and graduated from Ayer High in 1990. My recently position was at Fidelity Investments and Financial Services, customer service, project management for over 10 years. With the technology that Fidelity Investments has, and I've utilized at Fidelity, I think I can bring a lot of technology services to the town within utilizing their websites to get the information out to you citizens for information a lot smoother, a lot quicker, and keep it updated. I come to you today, to just give you my background and look for your support within this election coming April 26th. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Our first question is actually going to be near and dear to me. For you, those of you in the audience who don't know, I'm actually the town's webmaster as well. So this will go to what Glenn talked about. But our first question for the clerk candidates is going to be, how would you use the town's website to improve communications with the residents of Ayer, and what other methods would you use for those who aren't on the internet? So, and Dave, we'll start with you, staying in alphabetical order.
Well, I'm actually also a member of the Communications Committee, and for many years was the sole member of running the website. I also have a website, www.electbedurtha.com, and on that website you can get a lot of information, and that's the same kind of tools that I'd like to use in the clerk's position. We need to be able to have minutes for all the different boards and committees and such available. Very easily done. We just have to, transition from not only having paper but also having a digital format. I'd also create, like a lot of other local towns, a clerk's newsletter that comes out probably like once a month. It's paid for by the clerk. It's not paid for by the town. But there's a lot of people that still want to see, or have a piece of paper holding in their hand, or people that aren't connected online. We don't want to forget about those people. So you make that available at the front counter of the clerk's office as well. And I'm very much into providing information about what's happening in town meetings, town elections, things like that. The website is an excellent way to do that, as well as additional signage that the town clerk can help provide, things like the lawn signs, but also other signage that gets a lot more people out. I've always been kind of concerned that the low percentage of people that show up at town meeting and the low percentage of people that show up for election. And I think some of that is just a very busy community, and you just have to keep letting them know what's going on, and they'll participate if you let them know. Thank you.
Great, thank you. John?
I think the answer to that question is in two parts. First of all, you have to know exactly what the job function is of the town clerk, the who, what, when, where, how, and why of what the town clerk does. You have to get that information on paper. You have to make sure it's well thought out. And then you have to give it to the people who have the knowledge on how to make it available to the townsfolk through the electronic system. And that would be the Ayer Communication Committee. Once that information is aggregated and put together in a nice format, it can be handed off to the Ayer Communication Committee so that they can put it onto the computer, onto the internet, so that you, whether you're at home or whether you're at a business, are able to get the link up that you need in order to get the answer to the question that you have. And that's how I would approach that. The other thing is I would be careful about overpromising too much on technology. It's not a magic wand. And in order to meet the needs of technology, you must have a budget that supports the technology. In order to have a budget to support the technology, you need money for software, hardware, and personnel training. And I would want to make sure that the money was there within the budget so that anything that we were to promise for technology could be met, because we had the resources that we need in order to make the technology worthwhile and worthy for the townsfolk.
Great, thank you. And James?
Yes, it's a very interesting conversation across a lot of different companies and businesses in the area. Reason why is technology. Technology